My dear students, welcome to this second video. In this video, we are going to solve another example, another program in Python. We are going to write a program that prompts students for how many credits they have and what is their cumulative GPA. Then it will print whether they are graduate or not. They are graduate students or not. But we need to know that a student is graduate if he or she has 125 credit hours and his or her cumulative GPA is greater than or equal 2.0. So we need to check the input of the user, which is actually two input, the credit hours and the cumulative GPA against 125 and 2.0. If credit hours is less than 125, the students is not graduate students. And if the cumulative GPA entered is less than 2, the students is not graduate as well. So we need to check by using if statement to know whether the student is graduate or not graduate students. So let us start coding. We have two input, so I'm going to ask the students to enter two input. The first input, I'm going to save it in a variable called C1 input. I will ask the student to enter the credit hours, so how many credit hours do you have? Okay. The second input, which is cumulative GPA, I'm going to store the value entered by the students or by the user in another variable called C2 input. What is your Cum GPA? Okay. Now data should be converted to its equivalent classes, its equivalent data type. So C1 should be converted to integer, and I'm going to save the credit or C1 converted data into a new variable called credit hours, using integer to convert C1. Okay, now C2 I will convert it to float, and I'm going to save the converted data into another variable called Cum GPA. I'm going to use float to convert C2 into float. Okay. Next is to check the entered values. First, let us check the credit hours. If credit hours less than 125, then, or colon actually, if it is less than 125, that means the students is not graduate students, and I don't need to check the Cum GPA. So I'm going to print a message or a letter telling the user that you are not graduate student, and because your credit hours less than 125. Okay, now else that means he achieved more than or equal 125 credit hours, so I need to check his GPA entered, or actually cumulative GPA. So cumulative GPA is stored in this variable, so if cum GPA less than 2.5, that means also the student is not graduate student. So I'm going to print a message telling him that you are not graduate students, your cum GPA is, or actually less than 2.0. Now else for this if statement means the student is graduate. So I'm going to print you are graduate student. Okay, now we finish the coding. We need to check the program. So I'm going to run the program. Okay, now it asks about the credit hours. For example, I'm going to enter 120 and the GPA is 2.5. Okay, it tells me that you are not graduate students, your credit hours less than 125, because I already entered 120. Let us execute the program again and give 126, but the GPA is less than 2.0, so 1.99. It tells me that you are not graduate students because your GPA or cumulative GPA less than 2.0. Let us do it again. Let us execute it again and give valid, let's say 126, and the cumulative GPA is 2.9. Okay, you are graduate students. Congratulations. Thank you for watching. See you in the last video.